Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Paige, this is Seeking Alexandria, and guys, today I'm excited because the day has finally come for us to dive into Magic Star. I have the concealers, I have the setting powders, I have the green and the peach correctors, I have everything we need to dive in, as well as some geeky little math, because y'all know I love some geeky little mathin'. So I'm very excited to dive in and just see if these work, what we think, you know, and kind of weigh pros and cons of it. So I'm going to go ahead, I think, and get started, talk about the concealers. Now I will fully admit that when it came to purchasing these concealers and these powders, I may have went a little bit overboard, but I wanted to make sure that I had the correct range and good shades to make every single point that I think you guys at home would want to answer, as well as what I want to know for myself. So I did go ahead and pick up 5 of these shades. Now, of course, 2 of them are the correctors, like I said, so I have the peach and the green here. I picked up the shade CO, which is their white concealer shade, and then I also wanted to pick up 2 of the more flesh-toned concealers as well. I picked up C2 and C6. C6, I wanted to have one that would match my skin tone pretty close to see how it would do blemishes and things like that. And then C2, maybe I could mix it, put it under the eyes, do that nice highlighting sculpt situation that y'all know I love to do with concealer. So I tried to really hit every mark just so we can see what they are, the consistency, how we can use them best. Do they cover blemishes? Do they not? That sort of thing. So that's what we're going to be diving into, and y'all can tell, girl, I am so red today. I don't know what is going on, but like, look at the acne. Like, girl, she is out to play today, and I don't know why. So as all of us have more than likely seen in Jeffree Star's video, this is the component packaging. Very beautiful, very nice, sleek, sophisticated. I like the raised detail on here a lot. I love the overall packaging through and through. When you open these up, the component itself is actually super beautiful. I'm so excited. So you open it up and you have this really nice, sleek container here, this really beautiful crown moment with a star. Guys, mine doesn't have a star. Guys, the star on mine broke off. Oh my god, it's just like that Eric Matthews haircut thing all over again. If you didn't see my Scott Barnes video, I'll link it up here. Oh my god, guys, why doesn't this one have a star? Like, there was a spot for one and it looks like it broke off. I love that I'm over here trying to tell you guys how great the packaging is, and I open it up and there's not a star on it, nor is there even a star in the box. Like, where did it go? Maybe it was a shooting star. Okay guys, so as you can tell, I have them all lined up. I promise I'm doing better now. I just had to get that out of my system. And all the rest have stars. The only one that appears to have it broken off is C6, which is really funny because maybe when the thieves broke in and they took all of those C5 containers, maybe they took the star off of my C6 as a parting souvenir. Okay, so I promise joke's done now. Here's the thing. That one is clearly the outlier, so we're not gonna count that. However, it does make me wonder how, you know, structurally integrated this star is into the rest of the bottle, but nonetheless, the packaging on this component is so beautiful. Now, diving into the amount of product, this is something that I did want to mention because I did go through, and you guys know, yet again, I'm a nerd, so I did a ton of math, and I wanted to break down the amount of product that you get in each one of these. So each one of these concealers comes with 0.115 fluid ounces. And just to put that into perspective, so these again, 0.115 fluid ounces for $22. The Born This Way from Too Faced is 0.5 ounces, so a half of a fluid ounce for $29. And then the Tarte Shape Tape is $27, and you get, I think it's 0.33, right? Yeah, 0.3381 fluid ounces. So what I did to give an overall like rounded out amount, because I feel like some people are either brushing past it or they're not quite sure how to compare the price on these fluid ounces, I went through and I figured it out per full fluid ounce. So basically, I took the amount of product and the price and I amplified it to make them all even. This is something that we all learned to do back in, what, middle school or high school or something, when they were like, hey, you have to make all these fractions equal, so you have to make all the common denominators the same. I know, math numbers, but the best way that you can compare a total or an amount of anything is to give it all an even flat base. So I wanted to say, look, if I were to buy 1 full fluid ounce of Shape Tape, of the Too Faced Born This Way concealer, and of the Magic Star concealer, how much would that 1 full fluid ounce cost across the board given their current pricing for the amount of product you get? So that's kind of where I came up with this number, and I know it doesn't reflect the packaging, it doesn't reflect, you know, the independence of the brand, none of that. This is just a way to strictly compare amount of product for the price. Guys, just so you know, I actually did all the math, took a picture on my phone, and then wrote with the notes which one it was. So starting off with the Shape Tape, which again retails for $27 for 0.338 0.81 fluid ounces of product. If I take that and I multiply it up to 1 full fluid ounce, you come up with $81.82 if I round a slight amount. So $81.82, you might as well say $82 for 1 full fluid ounce of this. Going to the Too Faced Born This Way concealer, if you were to do the same thing, but this is a half a fluid ounce for $29. So all you have to do is double that and you get $58 for 1 full fluid ounce of this. And then when it comes to the Jeffree Star concealer, because these are $22 with, again, the 0.115 ounces of product a piece, this is definitely coming in the highest. It is $191.30 per full fluid ounce. So I did that just to kind of show you guys that as far as the amount of product you're getting for the price, it is a very, very high concealer. And again, like I said a few minutes ago, don't come for me. That doesn't take into account the packaging, the marketing, the size of the brand, indie brand versus not indie brand, like the presentation of the product, none of that. That does not take into account any of those things. So don't get all mad and be like, oh God, Paige, I can't believe. No, these are just the strict facts about the amount of product you are getting. And I wanted to put it out there because I did see a lot of people having opinions and things of the like to that nature. And another thing that I wanted to mention is that these are marketed with 20% pigment. So whereas you might need, you know, double the amount of another concealer or another product, these ones are saying, look, we have 20% pigment, a little goes a long way, they can cover a tattoo, these can do a lot. So I did want to go ahead and get all of that price stuff out front because we are going to be referencing it, and I really want that to be in the back of your mind when we're looking at this product. The thing we're going to do is we are going to get some swatches going. So let me go ahead here. I'm going to do just a live swatch. This is C6. Ooh, girl, that's actually like a perfect, man, I did that off the internet too. Ha! Y'all saying I can't match my skin. Look at that. Look at that. That did a pretty good job. Good job, Paige. I give you a pat on the back, girl. Yes. All right, so under that we have C2, which is kind of beautiful. That reminds me a lot of my porcelain beige shape tape right there. That's really nice. Maybe I should, is this porcelain beige? Yeah, hold on just a second. I want to swatch a little porcelain beige. Oh, okay, actually it's a little bit lighter than porcelain beige. So that little nugget over there, porcelain beige. And this one over here is Too Faced. This is the other one I wear in shade Swan, and that is actually like almost a perfect in-between of those two shades. And I know Too Faced did just expand their shade range as well. So this used to be the lightest. I don't know if it still is. I don't think it is. That one right there obviously is the white concealer. Very beautiful, the shade C0. I love having shades like this to correct foundations, to correct other concealers, to brighten up areas of the face, you name it. It makes even a great eyeshadow base a lot of times if you're working with bright colors. So C0, of course, I picked that up, and now we're going to do the color correctors. All right, and here they are. We have the green and the peach color correctors. So these are the 5 shades I picked up. Now we're going to move on to application, but guys, overall, I actually am really happy with the shades I picked out. Like, this never happens where I'm like, oh wow, look at me go, but I'm so impressed. Like, I think these are going to be perfect. Like, does this happen? Is this even real life? I don't know, but I'm excited. Let's move on to spot correction, please. Yes. Yes, please. Okay, so now it's time. We're going to take a little bit of that C6 and we're just going to lightly dot it on the acne spots. This feels really creamy. I'm not going in too crazy, just a tiny, tiny, tiny amount. And now we're just going to, oh my God. As I was saying, we're just going to lightly tap this out with our finger over top of our acne hyperpigmentation situation we have going on here. Okay guys, so I just let it set here for a second and the coverage is actually pretty good. Again, I went in with a small amount, so it's more on like the medium coverage right now. I could probably build it up to full and not have an issue, but it does look really nice. It's settling onto the skin really well, and it's actually doing a great job of blending in with my skin, and it doesn't look crazy. Like, this isn't my exact skin tone, but the way that it kind of blended and buffed in is really, really nice. If you're wondering, I didn't build it up to full coverage because I am going to go in with foundation, and I don't want it to look super thick or cakey right there. I just want to keep everything as even as I can for testing purposes, so that's why I'm not building it up. And of course, look, we still have this little bit of redness on this side. Oh yes, green concealer. Let's try it out. Guys, this is supposed to be really good for canceling out redness, so we're going to give it a shot and see if it works, because hello, look at the amount of redness I have in my life. It's existing on the most obnoxious level, so that's green. Wow, okay. Let's blend that out real quick. Okay, yep, let's do that. I'm just going to pat this in the same way that I would pat in a concealer. This is very spreadable too. Like, look at the way that that moves on the skin. just through tapping it out. That looks really nice. So next up, I'm going to grab the Peach Concealer, and I'm going to take that under one eye. That way we will have one eye with Peach Concealer, one eye with just his concealer, and we will be able to kind of test the formulas, the concealing effects, you know the drill. So I'm going to take this under one eye, and it also does say on the website you can use this for under eye circles, dark spots, and acne scars. Now, I chose to go in with the green one over my acne just because it is so red and so inflamed that I figured best to go that route. But if you have more, I'm assuming, of like a dull acne type scar, you could go in with this. I'm pretty sure that's how it works based on what I could find on the internet, but nonetheless, this is what we're gonna do. So one eye, and I'm going to say, let's do this eye, and I'm only gonna start off with a little amount, and then I'm going to tap that in with my finger. Wow, that really spreads quite nicely. Look at that. I didn't put on very much, and it just kind of went, whoop. All right. I'm not mad. All right, guys, so now I'm just going to take some foundation, put it on, because at the moment we're looking a little bit like a Dalmatian that got into some water paints. So let's go ahead, foundation our face, and be right back. Okay, so the green color corrector side, I'm not in love with. I feel like I had a really difficult time covering it, almost like the green color corrector kind of settled into my acne, if that makes sense. The other side, it covered really nicely, and so I don't know. I want to actually, you know what, I'm going to Google. This is going to be kind of embarrassing. I want to Google green color correctors just to make sure I didn't use that totally wrong, because if I did, I really don't want to hold, you know, I don't want to hold the product responsible. Oh, hello, Paige here. So I've been reading for like 10 or 15 minutes now on various websites, and I'm officially more confused than I was before, because it says here on one website that you apply the green color corrector after foundation, but then on two other websites it said to put it on before foundation. I would think before foundation because that's what makes sense. So I'm not really sure, but either way, they all do say that you can use it for like really red or inflamed skin. So I know that I used it in a good way, and I guess jury's still out on if it goes under or over. If you were to put it over your foundation, that makes literally no sense to me. So it has to be under. Guys, I'm gonna go with under, but in any event, it does appear to be settling out okay. It's just when applying it, I did have a difficult time getting the green to cover, and maybe it's just because I am so fair. I read on another website that it's best for fair, medium skin tones, so I don't know. These are all just things. I don't typically get into the colored concealer side of it. I can tell you on the other side, though, that redness covered very nicely. It melded right into my skin tone, and I didn't have any issues. Again, over here wasn't my favorite, and I actually feel like my redness is poking out quite a bit on these acne spots. Like, you can still see them, whereas on this side you can barely see them. So I don't know, something to consider. But now we're going to go ahead and move on to concealer, which for that I'm going to grab the shade C2, which I haven't talked about these yet. I actually quite like the component on this. They were talking a lot in Jeffrey's video where he revealed these. They were talking a lot about the wand and how it holds a lot of product, and I actually agree. I think that you can do a lot with just like one swipe. And I'm going in very, very light-handed. All right, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and blend this out before I add any C6 just to see how it looks. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this on. Now, this is, of course, the side with no color corrector on it. So this is just the product. And it blended out, wow, very nicely. Spread. I'm just going to throw the little extra there up on the lid. Oh, wow. Looks very, very nice on the skin. Actually, I quite like that by itself. I don't know that I would want to add C6. I like the brightness that I get from that. Okay, now I think for me, I would probably want to go in with just a little bit more because I do have a slightly more intense bag line right there. So I'm just going to take a tiny little dollop, not too much, and I'm just going to set it right in there and blend that out. That looks really, really nice on the under eye. It feels nice and natural, not drying, not overly hydrating either, just very nice and good on the skin, and it sits really light. Now on the other side, of course, I do have the peach color corrector on, so we're just gonna go ahead here and swipe this on just like we did on the other side. Nothing too crazy, about the same amount. And blend. Okay, so after some close scrutinizing, because obviously I can't like bring you guys into like the inside of my pores to look at like my face. I don't have that technology yet. So I'm kind of just looking at it for myself, and from what I can see, this side has one layer of the concealer plus the corrector. This side has 2 layers of concealer, and I actually think the side that's a little bit brighter might be the side with the corrector from everything I'm seeing. If I look at you guys head on, can you tell like a difference? I feel like this eye does look brighter. Hello, Paige, do the rest of your face. What am I? What, guys, who am I? I have to conceal the rest of my face real quick just for a little bit of brightness. So a little bit on the forehead, and I'm not going to go too crazy because this stuff does have a nice blend to it and it melds into the skin really well. So I'm just taking this little applicator and I'm more or less just kind of stamping it and then swiping through that like this, kind of, you know, just blending it out a little bit. It's the return of the toilet paper, y'all. It's getting real. My eyes are leaking. Okay guys, when I had it got that all settled in, my face is looking nice, and it's time for some powders. So these were released in 8 shades. These are also $22 a piece, and I didn't go through and do all the crazy math with these because for the amount of product you get in this container, which is 0.353, it's actually not too far off from some other brands. The closest one I could find was the Cover FX Perfect Setting Powder. This one also has 0.35 ounces in it. Now comparing that to some of the other brands I use, the Laura Mercier, you do get 1 full fluid ounce, which is roughly 3 times the size of the Cover FX or the Jeffree Star powder, but 1 full fluid ounce of this. But then other ones like Marc Jacobs, this one here is their Finish Line powder. This has 0.28 ounces. The one from Hourglass, I believe, is also 0.35 or 0.36, so right around the same amount as the Jeffree Star. And if you consider how much the Cover FX powder or the Hourglass powders are, this is actually a really, really good price point. Again, compared to those, I think the Hourglass one is like 40-ish, $46. The Cover FX one I think is 30 some dollars. So $22 for the same amount of product is definitely not bad. So you go ahead, open her up. This is the component. We've all seen it. Super beautiful, nice, reflective. I love the presentation of this. Looks like we have a twist open. This is my favorite. Thank you so much, Jeffree Star, for being the first person. See this pull tab, guys, right here? Do you see this? It's a long enough pull tab. Watch. Oh my God. And guys, I just have one question. Why is this easy of a peel tab such a difficult concept for other companies to grasp? This is truly brilliant. Thank you so much. Like, I will never understand why it's totally acceptable that we should have to have tweezers or some other weird utensil to help us open a powder that we purchased. Like, why not just make it easier for the consumer to open? Just an idea. Love the smell of this. Oh my God, it smells, oh my God, he was right. It does smell like a really light cotton candy, but it's not overpowering. So that one right there is shade Fair on my hand, which again, you can barely see. So right next to that one right here, we have shade Beige. And again, these are all kind of blending in on my skin tone. Beige does appear to have a little bit more of a yellow undertone versus Fair, which has more of a neutral pink undertone. All right, you can actually see it a little bit better than I thought you would. So here is Translucent, which again, if you kind of go in and blend it out, that one would show up with nothing or little to no cast under your eye. It looks really pretty. All three of these look really nice on the skin. I think for me, I would probably take shade Fair under the eyes, I think. Maybe what I'll do is I'll take like 2 different colors, maybe Fair and Translucent, one under each eye, and see like what happens. I don't know. Guys, I have no clue. I'm just excited. I did pick up, like I said, 3 powders and I want to test them. Like how else am I going to test them if I don't do one under each eye and then maybe like one on an armpit or something? Like you got to get creative, okay? Okay, so here they are in their little containers. We have Translucent and Fair over here. And how I'm going to be doing this is I will pack out the under eye one more time because girl, I get creasy almost instantly. Oh, okay, yeah, definitely creasy. So I'm going to go ahead, pat this out, and then on this side I will go with the Fair. The other side I'm going to go with the Translucent. I'm going to take my Marc Jacobs the Conceal brush. I'm going to press this in under the eyes and onto the Hulk crease on my forehead just to set those areas first very nice and intensely because y'all know they crease instantly. And then from there I'm going to go ahead and actually bake my under eye a little bit on my forehead, my chin, and my jawline. We're going to bake both sides of the face with their respective powders just to see how they look while baking, and then once they're ready, girl, we're going to dust them off. Alright guys, so we've been sitting here for a couple of minutes and I think we're ready to sweep it off. So this is the Marc Jacobs the Bronze brush, which I like to use this for all over powder, and I'm going to lightly take a little bit of this brush and dunk it into the other shade, the shade Beige powder that I have. And I like to go in anytime I dust away a bake or a powder on the face. It's always good to go in with a little bit of powder on another brush, just so that way when you sweep it over a tacky surface, it doesn't get stuck and drag and cause any sort of marks or anything. But I am hoping to go ahead and set the rest of my face not only with the little bit on this brush, but also with the leftover powder I'm going to have from the rest of the face. So let's just go ahead here and sweep it away. And I'm just going to lightly kind of buff it in an upward motion. And then down onto the face. A little bit of that beige and set the double chin here because y'all know it gets a little aggressive down here, girl. It's where all the Doritos go to die. Okay guys, so I've just been sitting here kind of feeling over my face and letting everything sink and settle. It does feel very nice, velvety smooth on the skin, settling in nicely. The only thing that I like to mention to you guys, anytime I work with a powder like this, which is a very, very, very finely milled powder, is that my face is very difficult to work with and very difficult to set in the terms of powders like these because they're so thin and so fine. Quite frankly, my skin, my texture, my creases, whatever, they just eat this powder. Like, gone, what powder, it never happened. And that does happen a lot anytime I work with something like this because my skin is so aggressive. That's a lot of times why you'll see me working with the Maybelline Fit Me in 05 Fair. That's my favorite powder. The Laura Mercier. Those are both beautiful powders, but they are not as finely milled as this type of a powder. This is like a whole new, like, I can't even express, almost like powder sugar fine, like if you can imagine that. Powder sugar versus, I would say, like flour, like a whole wheat flour. They're both very nice, very thin, very ground, but the difference between powder sugar, which is literally so light and fluffy that when you touch it, you can't feel it, that's this type of powder, versus again, more of like a baking flour where, yes, it's nice, it's fine, it's thin, but you can feel the texture and it's still there. It's not gritty, but you can feel it. That's the difference for me. And so a lot of times powders like this, they don't do everything I need them to do, but they do look really nice if I want to go in, set the whole face, and then use them to brighten. But for today, I'm using them to set, obviously, so I can test them, see if they will work as a setting powder. But I'm just letting you guys know, no matter what happens for the rest of the day, I won't be super surprised if these don't work to keep my entire face going strong all day long. So I just wanted to put that out there. I'm going to go ahead real quick, finish up the face. This video is going to be insanely long. And let me go ahead and do that, and I will be right back after everything is good and settled in, and we'll keep talking. Okay, you guys, I went ahead, I finished up the rest of my face. I love the way that everything came together, looking so smooth. In real life, the under eye area, it's not creasing yet, but it looks like it wants to. And again, like I said before, that powder, it just might not be robust enough for me. I did want to try it, and I'm still going to do a complete and total wear test on it. But just to be fair, again, pre-warning you, if it doesn't work out, I'm not gonna be mad. But right now it is holding up. The entire face looks very nice, very, very smooth. I do notice over here where I went in and tried to cover up these two pieces of acne, they are not super covered or canceled like I would like. So for me, as of right now, the green concealer isn't really my fave. So we're just gonna go ahead, wear these throughout the day. We're gonna see how I think everything looks at the end of the day and call it a show. So you guys, let me go ahead, do my day, and I will check back on here in a little bit. You guys, I would just like the entire record to reflect that I just did this entire outro with no sound. Sat down, filmed the whole thing, didn't turn the mic on. Loud car. Cool. Okay, you guys, so it is the end of the day, and I'm on here to give you some final thoughts. Now, I don't have much room as far as lighting and moving the camera in and out just because it's nighttime, so I have limited light coming in as well, but I wanted to give you guys, again, my final thoughts and run through what is happening. So the first thing I'm going to throw out there is the concealer. Let me take my glasses off. I've been wearing all of this makeup for about 10-ish hours at this point, and number one, if you see on my nose right here how there's like no foundation, I might have had a chiropractor appointment and I got in there and I like wiggled around on the table, might have taken like a little nap. I got all cuddly with that little pillow they put your face in, you know, and so it might have removed like a little foundation, but we're not going to talk about it. I do want to throw out there though, looking at my under eyes, and I'm not sure from where you guys are at how well you can see it, but I am a creasy. But here's the kicker. Normally when I go in with a powder that's super fine like this one, like Fenty, like all of those other ones I mentioned this morning, normally going in with those makes me very crepey and creasy and kind of thick and cakey under the eyes all the way down. And the only place that I'm having an issue with this powder and this concealer combo is actually right up here on like the worst part of my bags, which says a lot about these products because girl, my under eyes are so inhospitable. It is a whole situation down there. There's fighting, there's little men with swords, like it is a very violent area. So for me to look in the monitor and look up close and see that actually this entire area right here after 10 hours is still very smooth looking. Yes, it looks a little dry, but it is not bad at all, especially for this type of powder. So I'm not mad at it. I think for me, I would probably use these powders, like I said before, for more of a brightening effect or to bake. And I actually think that they're a really nice in-between powder. They're not as thin and fine and silica feeling as like the Fenty's or the Kylie powders are. This has a little bit more ass to it to where I can use it on other areas of my face as well. So for me, I would probably go in, do a thin layer of the Maybelline Fit Me or whatever my normal powder is, really press and pack that into the under eye bags, and then go in with this powder and use that to brighten or bake or whatnot, and I think it would actually be really nice for that. As far as the concealers go, yes, they did kind of settle into my smile lines, and I did have an issue, like I said, under the eyes right there, but overall I quite like them. I don't think, like, as far as a comparison, I think these would be similar to the Born This Way, the Too Faced Born This Way concealer. Obviously you do get a lot more of that concealer for the price, like we talked about this morning, but this is definitely more on the natural finish. It does feel slightly hydrating, which is nice. Now the Born This Way is a great concealer, don't get me wrong, and you do get a nice straight pigmentation out of it, but this one did give me just a little bit more coverage right from the gate, which I did appreciate. Because I did buy the concealer shades as well as the color correcting shades, I can tell you, I think the concealer, the skin tone shades are where it's at for sure. I like those a lot more than I like the color correcting side. I actually feel like the two pieces right here where I color corrected are a no-go for me. I lost a lot of the coverage almost instantly, and I'm not saying that wouldn't have happened with the concealer. I will be testing this theory out, working with all of them, you know the drill. But for me, the green color corrector just didn't do much. It didn't really keep me color corrected. It didn't keep me hidden as long as I would have liked, especially for that type of product that is intended just for that. Now for the peach concealer, I quite like it. I feel like it did a nice job concealing my under eye. Do I know at this point in the day if it made a huge difference? No. I will keep working with it. I'll work with it under other concealers, and I'll just play around with that. I also, like I said, I love the powders, and they are something that I wanted to highlight one more time, because when it comes to these powders, it's interesting because in the beginning of the video, I was talking to you guys about the price of the concealers and then the price of the powder, and how the price of this powder actually doesn't go up that much. It's you get a standard amount of product as a lot of other brands, and the price is really, really nice. And I also just wanted to draw attention to the not so indulgent packaging on this item. Like, it's a very standard container. Yes, there's a little nice embellishment on the lid here, but for the most part, it's just a standard plastic container. But then when you get into these concealers, they are a lot more bougie. They are nicer looking. They do have details on them. Notice I grabbed one with a star this time. Yep, that's right. But I think that there is just an overall difference in the aesthetic of the two. I think for me personally, again, I would probably just use the powders more to brighten, and I don't have anything against that because my under eyes were actually bright enough today when I left that I didn't have to use my KKW brightening powder, and that is a big haul because I use that powder every single day. So for them to be bright enough to do that on their own, I am completely happy and okay with using this as opposed to a brightening powder or whatever it is that you like to use. Again, something I will keep working with. Overall, formulation wise, I think it's all really, really nice. I just want to keep playing around and testing with the is it worth it, is it not? And I think overall, you guys, those are my thoughts. Let me know yours down below. I'm going to keep this intro short because this video has been painfully long, but you guys can check me out on Instagram and on Twitter. They're both linked down below. I do skincare Saturday/Sunday over on my Instagram. I'm also going to be doing bloggy style posts and just hanging out with you guys, getting to know you a little bit better. That's where I check in and do all the fun stuff. So check me out down there. Again, they're both linked. And if you haven't done so yet, you can also subscribe to this YouTube channel because, y'all, I upload 5 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. They go up bright and early between 6 and 7 a.m. my time here in Northern Michigan. I almost ran out of air. Y'all know the drill. I just love it. I love getting to hang out with you guys. We wake up, we drink our coffee together, and it's just, I don't know, I feel like it's just fun. So definitely subscribe if you like this video. We talk about everything from new products to old products, expensive, cheap, everything in between, whatever you guys want to see. Always leave it down below. And you guys, that is it. This has been a long day. Thank you all so much for watching. Please do not forget to have a great day, night, weekend, whatever it is when you're watching this, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. It does have a nice thin mill to it, but it is nowhere near as fine. Oh my god, it's a bug. Oh, there's a big bug, and I just had a fucking heart attack. What is this? Mom? Mom, Mom. Mom, 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 there's a bug. Mom, there's a bug. It's a big 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 bug, Mom.
I'm getting it.
It's over there. Go over there. Go over there.
Hold on.
It's right there. It's in that pink box closest to you. It's inside
in here.
Oh, God. Do you see it? Do you see it?
Aww.
Oh.
Come on, little
No,
guy.
don't touch it. It's probably infected. It's gonna kill us all.
Oh my God, Paige.
Don't help him.
Come on.
You're not. Why are you being so nice? Kill the bug.
It's okay, little guy.
Sick. Demon woman playing with bugs. Girl, why you gotta start your damn car? Better yet, why are you by my house? Excuse me, sir. Move along. I'd like to finish what I was saying. Thank you. Okay, so let's check the rest, because do any of them have stars? Did this happen to anybody else? But let's just go ahead and double check and pull the rest of these out. Hello? Excuse me, sir. Can I just... I'm like afraid to touch it for fear the star will come off and I won't get it back.